Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is a guide to the very best perks in Call of Duty Warzone. Now, I've seen a lot of people conflicted about which perks they should be using here in Warzone, so hopefully this video will be able to clear it up for some of you. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm just going to go over the best perk from each tier now. So as you probably know already, there's 3 different tiers and you're able to equip one perk from each tier. So let's get into it. So starting off with tier 1, I absolutely recommend everyone, no matter what your playstyle is, to use the cold-blooded perk. Now, I'm sure some of you have been playing Warzone for a fair bit and you're well aware that when players use thermal scopes, especially on sniper rifles, they can see you glowing white from miles away, which can be very dangerous to you if someone does this, as they might be looking at you from halfway across the map without you even realizing. Now what this perk does specifically is it stops other players from being able to see that glowy version of you. Now obviously they'll still be able to see you if they know where to look, but you definitely won't stand out anywhere near as much. So while that's the main thing this perk will do for you, the overall function is that it stops all AI targeting systems from detecting you, meaning additionally on top of the thermal scope thing, other things like recon drones won't be able to mark you anymore, so definitely this perk is very useful and I'll recommend everyone to use this perk no matter how you prefer to play. Now let's move on to the second tier. In my opinion, the most useful perk here is Ghost. Again, this perk gives you a similar sort of advantage to cold-blooded perk in that it will make it harder for enemies to find your location, but in this case it protects you from things like UAVs and, more importantly probably, heartbeat sensors. So the heartbeat sensors have become very popular in Warzone. Nearly everyone uses it simply because of how easy they make it to find your enemies. Most people nowadays put a heartbeat sensor in their loadout as it's by far the most useful tactical equipment in the game, allowing you to scan any building or area on the map within a 50-meter radius for enemies. So this perk will give you a huge advantage as it will completely hide you from enemy heartbeat sensors. And it could even put you in a position where an enemy enters your building thinking it's empty, making them more vulnerable and giving you the upper hand. Additionally, hiding your location from UAVs is a very useful bonus. Now what I will say is while this perk is very useful, it becomes a lot less powerful if you're playing with a squad and your teammates don't have the same perk equipped. And that is simply because you're likely going to be keeping close to your teammates. And if enemies can still see your team on the radar, the Ghost perk won't do much for you. So I mostly recommend using this perk either in solos or in squads if you can coordinate with your team to equip the perk as well. Alright, now let's move on to the third tier, and what I recommend here is Tracker. So the Tracker is a very useful perk in Warzone, and personally I'm confident that this perk has saved me from dying so many times in this game. If you don't know, what Tracker does is it shows you your enemy footprint and it's going to tell you exactly the exact path that your enemy near you has recently gone. Now there's been so many times where I charge into a building thinking there's no one inside, and as soon as I barge through the door I'd see these enemy footprints, and that can definitely be a lifesaver as it will show you that there's enemies inside the building. Another very useful scenario where this perk is useful is when you start heavily damaging an enemy and they begin running away. Now I'm sure a lot of you have been in this scenario so many times where you're about to kill someone and then they just cut a corner and start running away from you and you can't find them anymore. And that's because within the Warzone map there's so many buildings with corners and turns everywhere that you could make it almost impossible to know where your enemies ran off to. But with this perk you'll be able to see exactly where they are and chase them to finish them off. Alright, so that covers every tier from 1 to 3, and in my opinion those are the best perks from each tier. I can definitely say that my most successful games have been from games where I used each one of the perks that I mentioned in this video, so I do believe that it's the best setup overall. It keeps you protected from otherwise overpowered thermal scopes, heartbeat sensors, and it lets you track your enemy's footprints in close quarter combat. Now of course, I can't say that this is the best setup full stop, because it really is subjective and it comes down to your preference, and some people will be more comfortable using other perks, but as a general versatile setup I think that the one I've gone over in this video is definitely up there as one of the best, if not the best. So if you're not using it already, give it a go and let me know what you think. I'm interested to hear how it works out for other people. Anyway, if this video was in any way useful to you or if you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for other Call of Duty related content.